Yeah.
Happy Friday, T Squad. It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade BMF Season 2, Episode 5 review. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken seriously. So if that works for you, then let's get into this review. But before we do, I have some more behind the scenes tea for you guys. So once again, Tonasia, the real life Markisha, is speaking out against the show. This will be my last time bringing you this tea. But she had even more to say after last week's episode. So on her Instagram, she posted this caption: "My likeness is being used in the BMF series where I was told they wanted no parts of my story. I'm a hashtag real life hashtag victim of DV. I shared my trauma to help other women, and it was a healing process for me and my family. Me and my family discussed me sharing along with my abuser, who I forgiving." Okay, I think she meant to say who I forgave. "My abuse should not have been used in the storyline or told by a person I thought once cared for me." Shots fired at Southwest T. Terry. I told y'all they wasn't together no more. Y'all don't be listening to me. "Why use the most hurtful part of my life? Why hashtag Markisha Taylor, this supposedly character who's not supposed to be me, but a victim of abuse? Y'all didn't use my name, but my real life is played out every Friday. I'm not ashamed of what I've been through. I just shocked it was no other storyline they could have used. This is pre-Terry's life. I'm aware that a lot of this show is made up. Don't exploit victims to get ratings, to get the sympathy of the viewers. Let me share it, or people who gossip and don't know me personally, not y'all. I'm loved by a lot of people, and for the last 3 weeks, this has been a high topic of my life. Yes, I've been talking and sharing with 50 Cent since 2016, and this is not his fault. We clearly came to an understanding. When it comes to victims, talk to them like them." I think she meant to say let them share how they felt, their emotions, and how would it affect them and their offsprings. I'm alive and I'm living. This could have been a conversation between me and everyone responsible. Hashtag BMF, hashtag BMF stars, hashtag queen, hashtag notorious queen, hashtag family, hashtag son, hashtag God. This was a smack in my face." So there you have it. Like I said, she is very upset about the portrayal of her life being used on this show, even though she has never had any input or talked to any of the producers. She feels like she was used and disrespected by Terry. She feels like he backstabbed her. So yeah, it's a lot going on. At this point, I'm like, are you gonna sue or not at this point? Because ranting about it on Instagram every week is really not doing much. I mean, if anything, you better start promoting that book you wrote and be like, "I'm the real wife Markisha, go and cop this book, child." But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about all of that tea down below in the comment section. Now let's get into this week's review of BMF. The episode kicks off with Detective Jen and Detective Bryant questioning Denise and trying to get her to flip on the Flannerys. They're telling her that she's gonna have to serve all this time and da. So she's getting really antsy and really scared because she has not heard anything from them. And it seemed like she was about to flip until all of a sudden in walks Monique, pretending to be a lawyer because she works for a law firm or something like that, and demands to speak to her client, honey, one-on-one. And Detective Brian was like, "Who in the heck are you?" And she was like, basically, "Mind your business, Negro." So she sits down and talks to Denise in code and basically tells her that, we have mutual people, in common, and they're willing to look out for you. You're going to have to serve time regardless, but we can make sure you and your son is taken care of, that his college education is taken care of. We just need for you, to do the right thing and ride for, who riding for you. So at this point, she's considering the offer, but has not made a firm decision. But I like the way that they use Monique's character in this scene, and Cash Doll did a really good job. I really like Cash Doll, the actress. I really honestly do. So Meech and Terry are making their way to Atlanta, but before they hit Atlanta, they go back to Ohio to run up on the cousin for, spending that weight and lying to them and saying that he got jacked or whatever. So they run up on him, and Meech proceeds to beat the sleeves off of him until the point where he started bleeding and opening up his wound. And Terry like, yo, chill. And he was like, man, forget that. Like, he had the nerve to like literally play in my face. So I liked seeing Meech in that rough neck way. Like, he was beating the brakes off of cousin. I was like, hey, Meech. Hey, look, Meech. How you doing? And Terry was looking at his brother with that one good eye like, this Negro a little crazy. He seemed to be a little bit more ticky boom boom since I've been out the game. Like, he seemed like he even more psychotic than he was when I was with him. Back at the crib, Lucille trying to throw herself on this man that don't want her. I'm like, girl, Charles is just not that into you, girl, but she trying to get him to go on a church retreat. And he like, girl, ain't nobody thinking about Jesus right about now. Our business is failing. Our boys is on the run, and you sitting up here trying to go on a church retreat. Girl, sit down somewhere. You're getting on my nerves. He was like, you could go and do that. I got things I need to do. So she all distraught and everything. And when he leaves the room, she decides to go through his guitar case to see if he still got them dirty magazines in there, but she doesn't find anything. But she's still like, what is going on? Like, it's just getting worse and worse and worse between us. And I was like, girl, he don't want you no more. I need for you just to accept that and move on. He ain't about nothing, no way. Forget Charles. Meech and Terry finally get to Atlanta, and they are culture shocked about, just how many black people there are and how well dressed and everything. And so they link up with their partner, hoping to get some weight from him. But he like, I ain't got nothing to help you with. Like, I'm in a drought myself. Well, it's Meech's partner, not Terry's. It's the dude he met in Vegas. He was like, it's a drought right about now. I ain't even got that much, but I mean, I can try to help you. So Terry was like, look, just point me to the nearest dice game. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, they only got 15 stacks. So he was like, oh, I can't hook you up with that. I can't send you to the right place for that if that's how you trying to get put on. Meech ain't with it though, because he like, we only got 15 stacks. We need to get weight. 15 stacks ain't even enough for us to do what we trying to do. And you trying to go gamble it, like, it's too risky. So he ain't really with it. But Terry is pig-headed, he hard-headed, and he don't want to listen to nobody. At the church, Charles sees Lucille and Nicole off for the church retreat. And the old girl from the choir was like, bye, Charles, I thought you was coming. He was like, no, not this time. And she was like, oh, I want to show you some new music. And Lucille looking at her like, are you flirting with my man right here in my face? Like, it's a lot of hey and hi and going on while you batting your eyes at my boo thing. Like, what's good? So Lucille feeling some type of way. So she walk up on Charles and give him a deep, passionate kiss. I'm some bye, baby. And I'm like, girl, Lucille, you just keep on making a fool of yourself, because Charles is looking at her like, what are you doing? While she trying to make her position clear that she's the wife. And it's like, girl, don't nobody want Charles but you. So Meech and Terry end up hitting up this strip club or whatever. And Terry like, look, we did not come all the way down here to see some Annie's, okay? We trying to figure out how we gonna do this thing. Like, we could see that back home. But they get led to the back where they meet Goldie, played by the infamous Oscar-winning actress Monique, okay? And it was so good seeing Monique back on a TV screen. She is a phenomenal actress. I love the way they had her looking. I love that she plays this no-nonsense hustler. And the way we're introduced to her as somebody at her club is talking crazy to her, and she got to put him in his place. She hit him over the head with a bottle and tell her people to get this fool up out her face, because he come and do this same bull swanky every week. So Meech is immediately impressed by her, because he ain't never seen no chick get down like her before. But she ain't pressed, and she looking at like, who are these little niggas? Like, where y'all from? Because y'all country is I don't know what with them rat tails in the back of y'all head. So they tell her that they from Detroit, but Terry being standoffish as always, rubbing people wrong, not being nice, not speaking to nobody. He just walk over and start, getting into the dice game. And she was like, what you playing for? And he was like, I think he said about 15 stacks. And she was like, okay, he want a game. We're going to give him a game, okay? And when she said that, he should have known to walk away at that point. Because you should have known at that point you was about to get hustled, okay? So he rolled the dice southwest. And womp, 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 womp. Things do not go the way that he expected. And he ends up losing all the money. And except for like 1,000 or something like that. And Meech was like, I told you this was a bad idea. I told you, but you don't never want to listen to nobody. Like, I cannot stand you. You get on my nerves, sir. However, I am already in love with Monique's character, Goldie. I need to see a spinoff with a show called Goldie about her character, her being this female hustler in the during the, the 80s or whatever. Like, I think that would be so dope, so fly, because Goldie is giving me life already. Make it happen, 50 Cent. Make it happen, Stars. It would be a grand smash hit. Then we go to Charles, old philandering butt, over there at that next door neighbor's house, fixing up her house. Getting still, they over there living in that shack. And he over there fixing her cabinets, her drapes, her door knobs, the floor, the ceiling fans, and everything else, while his wife out here trying to find the Lord and get some covering for their family. And this lady just steady flirting with him and was like, I'm having a get together Saturday, you should come by. And he was like, I see, yeah, I think about it or whatever, knowing dang on where he was gonna come, but he's still trying to fight it in his head like he not about to have no affair, but he knows that he's playing with fire, and he knows that this woman want him, and he's still steady taking his butt around there because he want to feel young and youthful again and feel like a man and feel like, you know what I'm saying, his life doesn't suck as much as it actually does, even though he's the cause of his life sucking. And over there at her house, he ain't got to worry about the bills. He ain't got to worry about having no badass kids. He ain't got to worry about his wife praising the Lord every 5 seconds instead of giving him some slob on the knob like corn or the cob. Over there, it's fun and games over there. Free cable. He ain't got to wrestle with no kids about who gonna get the last piece of chicken. It is great over there at her house. Back at the precinct, Detective Bryant's son ended up popping up at the precinct. And he excited to see his son until he sees that his son has walked all the way over there in just his socks. So he like, that little boy then took your shoes again. He was like, yeah, or whatever. He was like, look, you gonna have to start sticking up for yourself or people gonna be bullying you the rest of your life. But the little boy was like, Dad, like, stop trying to make me be something that I'm not. I'm not you. I'm not tough. I like to do my own thing. Like, I handled it. It's fine. But the daddy is not going for that. He is like, I'm taking you up to that school. We talking to the principal. The little boy like, please do not do that. Because he know it's just going to make it worse. I was bullied when I was younger. And it took me a long time to finally say something to my family about it. But then when I did, it actually helped the situation. And I understand where the dad is coming from because you do have to stick up for yourself at some point. You just can't continue to run. You know what I'm saying? But the little boy is just not built like that. Like, he's totally different from his father. Meanwhile, Detective Jen is on the other side of the window eavesdropping on their conversation. And she's seeing that, he's not listening to his son. But he wants the best for the little boy, but they just don't really have anything in common as far as their likes and dislikes. Back in the Meech and Terry over there splitting a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because they barely got any money. I want to know where they were sleeping at this whole time. Was they sleeping in a car? How was they washing their booty? Like, what was going on? But anywho, Terry like, what we gonna do? And he was like, we wouldn't be in this position if you wouldn't have gambled all the money away. And he like, look, it already happened now. What we gonna do? So he was like, Terry kind of like just wanted to give up. He didn't really have that hustler's ambition like Meech did. Meech was like, look, this is what we supposed to do. God to put it on my heart to sell drugs. So I don't know about you, but this is what I'm destined to do. I'm destined to be great. because they had heard about from the dude from Vegas about this mysterious dude that know how to whip up crack like it ain't nothing named Pynk, but they don't know if this dude is real or if they got played or what. But Meech was like, I believe that he exists because I exist. And Terry was like, dang, like, you really believe in yourself. Like, you really believe like this is our call. And he was like, look, I'm telling you, the Lord put it on my heart to whip it up and sell it to the streets. Like, we gonna make it. He was on his Jadakiss shit. We gonna make it. We gonna make it. We gonna make it. Against his son's wishes, Detective Brian takes his son to the school to talk to the principal. The principal like, you gonna have to make an appointment, sir, because I'm grading papers and I got parent-teacher conferences. I gotta make phone calls. You just can't be popping up on me, sir. Okay? And he was like, look, I need to talk to you right now, because somebody got to protect my kid while he here. And he was like, that little boy keep on, bullying my son. And so the principal was like, is that true? And right when the little boy, about to speak up, he sees the little boy that's been bullying him and his partners. So he clam up, and of course he doesn't say anything. So the principal was like, if he not going to talk, then there ain't nothing I can do. Now y'all can be on y'all way, because it's my lunchtime. And today it is pizza being served in the cafeteria. So Detective Bryant notices the little boy, and he was like disgusted with his son. Like, like, you pussy ass nigga, like, you gonna let these little niggas keep on jumping you? Like, you know what? Continue to get beat up. I'm tired of you and I'm sick of it. Then back at the precinct, we see like the head honcho, this chick, tell all of the detectives that Denise, the white lady that worked for the Flannerys, lawyer, went to the DA, and the DA agreed to let Denise plead possession on less than 650 grams. So she basically about to get off. So of course Jen and Brian are pissed off. And so she calls up one of the other detectives, and he gets up there and reports that Lenora Vasquez or whatever been reported missing, and the person of interest is K9. So once K9 found out that the little Spanish chick that was his girlfriend was cheating on him, he got rid of her, honey. And I was like, R.I.P. She said she wasn't gonna stop. Well, after K9 got to it, she had no choice but to stop. Like, you got to be crazy yourself to cheat on a man like K9. Baby, I would be the most faithfulest chick ever. Like, I would put tape over my eyes every time I'm with this man, because I don't even want you to think I'm looking at nobody else. Okay? I might put tape over my nostrils just so you don't think I'm breathing another nigga aroma. Like, no sir. Detective Brian being all, lonesome and not talking to nobody. He's just really distant. And Detective Jen peeps it. She like, what's going on? He was like, I just got some stuff going on. She was like, look, I need for your head to be in the game. I need for you to talk to me. If this is about your son, then, I had a similar situation happen to me and my sister. He was like, hold up. Why is you in my business and listening to conversations that I got going on with my son? And she was like, look, we are partners, and I need for your head to be on a swivel. You know what I'm saying? I got to, trust you to protect me and vice versa. So if you would be quiet and let me hip you up on some game, maybe you'll learn something. So she tell him about the story about her sister who was in a DV relationship and end up getting pop-out or, slain by the man. And she goes on to basically give him some advice without even knowing that she was giving him some advice on, you just got to do whatever you got to do to protect yours at the end of the day. And that sparks an idea in his head. Lamar just don't know how to take no for an answer, honey. He pops back over Monique's house trying to talk to her, and she had the blicky out like, homeboy, you just not about to be running up over here when you feel like it. I don't mess with you, okay? So he like, look, just let me explain. Like, I love you. I want my family. I'm sorry for what I did. She was like, do you realize that you put your hands on me? Like, you beat me up in front of my daughter. Like, you have lost your mind. And she was like, whatever that child name is, Zoe, is scared of you. And he was like, you need to bring Zoe back home, because she lets him know that she sent Zoe away. And he like, look, just let me make it up to you. I'm going to promise you that I'm going to change and I want to be with you. And she just like, bye, Lamar, bye. And she closed the door on him, child. Honey, I would have closed the door, locked it, bolted, put a steel door on top of that, then put a metal door in front of that, then put a boulder in front of that, child, because you got to do whatever you got to do to get away from Lamar, because he is like the crypt keeper. He just going to keep on coming back. Terry and Meech go over to their partner's house that live in the A that's doing the damn thing, about asking him to front them some bricks, because, Use up the money at the dice game. And he was like, it's a drought right now. I can't even give it to you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So Terry brought up the pint dude. And he was like, how you know about him? And they was like, come on, man. You know we connected. Meanwhile, he got a homie that's in the kitchen chopping it up and doing a bunch of stuff in the kitchen or whatever. And he was kind of like ear hustling in on their conversation. So dude ends up telling them, I can't really help you because it's a drought right now. Y'all gonna have to give me something. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gonna have to figure it out and get it how you live and then come back and holler at me. Charles ends up putting on one of his Bill Cosby sweaters and taking his butt on down the street to old girl to her little house party child. And at first he tried to act all nervous and stuff. But then he started hearing Bobby Blue Bland and lost his mind and got up on the dance floor and was bumping and grinding with her all night, child. And I was like, you do remember that you got a wife and children at home and a broken down house that needs to be fixed, don't you? He just having a grand old time. Can't stand his blockhead butt. So when the party is over and everybody left, he the last man standing. You should have been home. So she like, you know you ain't got to leave. And that's all he needed to hear, baby. And they just got to kissing and honey. He pushed her up against that wall and she ain't hesitate to turn around and lift that skirt up. And they got to smashing. And all I know is it was like 1 pump. 2 pump, 3 pump, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was over. And I'm like, child, that's all you got, Charles? That's all you got? That's all you got. Now, I tried to give him a pass. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, he and Lucille ain't been smashing. You know, he backed up. It was a quick. Okay, he blew fast. All right, I'm going to let him slide on that. I'm going to let him slide. But I was not impressed at all. Meanwhile, while he over there cracking the neighbor's back, Lucille and Nicole return from the church retreat. And she takes the opportunity to ask old girl from the church band, are you sleeping with my husband? And that lady was like, Lucille, no, why would you say a thing like that? She's like, girl, don't play with me. I see how y'all be looking at each other and how you be prancing all around all the other male church parishioners. I see you, ho. I see you. So the lady kind of humbled herself. She was like, you know what? I done been through some things. I done some things I regret, but I have not slept with nobody, including Charles. Now, is that all? And Lucille felt bad. She was like, I'm so sorry, sister. I'm so sorry. Like Lucille felt real bad for accusing that lady of doing something that she wasn't doing. But we ain't gonna act like that lady wasn't giving your husband a googly eye. So we gonna give her a pass. But we still got our left and right eye on her. Goldie's club is closing for the night. And she's heading to her car with this dude. And he was like, I'm going to watch you get in your car. She was like, baby, you ain't got to worry about me. You ain't got to worry about Goldie. I'm going to always be good. You know I keep the strap on me, homie. Okay? So he was like, girl, you wild. And so he drive off. She get in the car. She like, whoo, it's been a long night. My feet hurt. I'm about to go and prop my feet up and watch the Apollo. Because it's after 12 o'clock. Y'all remember when Apollo used to come on at 1 o'clock in the morning? Baby, I used to fight to stay up, honey, and not go to sleep. So just when she about to start the ignition, she hears Goldie jumps like, whoop! I got caught slipping. And none other than Meech is on one side with his thumper, and then on the other end, on the other passenger side door is Meech with his thumper. So Terry opens the door and pulls out her thumper so she can't make no quick moves. And they both was like, look, we ain't trying to rob you. We just want to get our money back since y'all played us. Is any games going on tonight? So she was like, nah, homie, I ain't got no game going on. He was like, well, I know you got to know where one is in town. She was like, matter of fact, I do, but you going to have to break me off some. Break me off some. You gotta break me off something. So they was like, oh, we got you. We got you. It's all good. So she ended up taking them to another dice game. They get there and Meech and Terry are playing, and the dude that run the game think that they cheating because they keep on giving each other eye contact, and he trying to peep game because he don't know who these dudes are. So he stopped the game and was like, you got your dice is fixed. Use these dice, because if I find out y'all cheating, I'm gonna pow you. So they like, dude, calm down. Ain't nobody cheating. Like, what's good? So Terry rolled his dice and he still win. So dude pissed off like, forget that. Game shut down. Da 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 da. And Meech and Terry like, we up. So they are happy. And so now they have built a relationship with Goldie. And like I said, I need Goldie to have her own show because dude tried to disrespect her and was like, I don't appreciate you bringing this nonsense to my establishment. Like, I ain't fooling with you no more. But then when it was proven that they weren't cheating, Goldie was like, and I don't appreciate you questioning my integrity. I ain't fooling with you no more. You already know how I get down. And I was like, period, Goldie. Period. You better check that Negro. So after winning at the dice game, they go back to his partner and was like, look, we came up, we got your money. Dude give him some kilos. And he was like, that's all you got? And he was like, man, how many times you got to tell you it's a drought? So then that's when they finally let them know that they know that his partner is actually Pynk. And so he was like, look, I don't be letting everybody know who I am because what I do is special. And if a lot of people know, then I ain't going to be special no more. Like, I can help y'all, but you know what I'm saying? It's going to have to come at a price. So they end up all working with each other. They get the bricks that they need and everything is back to the G. Like, everything is back good, copacetic. They back on top. Back in Detroit, Charles' old raggedy self back at the crib washing his hands and stuff because you know he done touched on another woman and he got hands of a sinner now. And he up here reminiscing about what just happened. Ain't no guilt, no remorse. He's sitting up there skinning and grinning and stuff because he done had a good old time and he trying to figure out when he gonna get back to have another round. In comes Lucille and he like, hey baby, how you doing? You have a good time? And she walk over to him and give him a hug and a kiss. And she was like, you know what? I just want to let you know that, you know, I'm sorry for not thinking about you and what your needs are and what you got going on. And I just want to make it up to you. And he started to feel a little bit bad. It seemed like dang, I done just smashed old girl down the street. My wife coming to me, apologizing, trying to make things right. Like, she really fighting for us. And so she was like, what's wrong? And she rubbed his face and he kind of like walk off. And I was like, he dismissing her again? But I guess that was his way of letting her know that I'm about to blow your back out. Because the next thing we know, we see Charles and his man titties come up out the shower. Lucille standing up there waiting on him like the good little wife she is. And she just a smiling and a grinning because she finally about to get her some D. And he all kind of like hesitant because he know he just smashed old girl. Like, at least he took a shower first, but you still trifling. How you gonna smash the next door neighbor and then have sex with your wife not even 3 hours later? You are trifling. You ain't nothing. You are beneath nothing. Like, oh my God, I want Terry and Meech to jump you. I cannot stand your nasty butt. You ain't been having sex with Lucille. You could have waited a day or two, you nasty Negro, you. So he walk up on her. They get the kiss. They get in the bed and then he lay his big solid old rump roast looking self on top of her and get the pumping away. And it was once again 1 pump, 2 pump, 3 pump, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it was over. So I was like, you know what? Not only are you broke and raggedy and trifling, egotistical, selfish, self-centered, but then you ain't even got no good D. Really, Charles? You just a 2 pump pumper and you got the girls going crazy. You ain't got no money and no good D? Girl, goodbye. Goodbye, Lucille. Goodbye to the neighbor down the street. Charles don't deserve nothing. That man need to be eating bologna sandwiches every day. If I was Lucille, I would have pushed him off me. Get your ass off of me. We ain't had sex in all this time and that's all I get. And then you gonna roll over all out of breath like you done did something. You ain't did nothing. She ain't even get hers off. Girl, goodbye. The next day, we see B. Mickey go and beat up the little boys that's been bullying Detective Brian's sons. And he beat them up real, real good. So they won't be messing with him no time soon. And I was like, see, that's how you use your resources, Detective Brian. You couldn't beat him up, but you could have easily paid somebody else to beat him up. Duh. It shouldn't even taken Detective Jen to be the one to tell your big eared ass that. Then at the end of the episode, Terry and Meech got the kilos. They put them in the trunk. They're about to head back to Detroit and get it popping. They excited to hit the road, get back in town. Terry has made it official that he is officially back in BMF. The boys are back in town. Back in Detroit, Lucille is in the kitchen making an apple pie, honey, for her man, child. She trying to keep her man at home, baby. So she in the kitchen chopping up apple. She got Marvin Sapp Pen in the background, and it's just her and Nicole in the house. And then all of a sudden, it's a knock at the door. Lucille like, Nicole, go answer the door. Because her hands is tied. She got apple shit all on her hands, so she can't go and do it. It's then another frantic knock at the door. And she like, Nicole, go answer the door. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, is it the chick from down the street about to expose Charles for sleeping with her and trying to ruin this girl marriage? So I'm like, oh, Lucille, don't go to that door. Lucille, don't go, don't go. Then it's another knock at the door. At this point, she wiped her hands off and she decides to put the knife that she was using down on the counter instead of putting it in the front of her apron. I was like, girl, why did you do that? You're supposed to always carry something, don't you? So she goes to the door and was like, who is it? And opens the door without even finding out who it is. I'm like, girl, I know you light skinned, but you still black. You know you always look out the window first. So she opens the door and none other then Lamar is standing there. Child, I was scared for Lucille, but I know that the real Lucille is still alive. So I knew nothing was going to happen to her. So he was like, you Terry and Meech mom? And she was like, yeah. And so she already at this point know what he's there to do. So she was like, can I pray with you? And he looking like, girl, get on somewhere. At this point, Nicole finally bring her raggedy self down the steps and she sees what's going on and she run right back up the steps, child. So she immediately grabs the phone and calls Terry. So back in the 8, Terry and Meech about to get in the car. They close the trunk and he receives the phone call from Nicole. He answered and he was like, what's going on? She was like, Terry, the man that killed such and such, he here and he got mama. So he was like, what? We on our way. We on our way. He tell Meech, hurry up, we gotta go. And I'm like, child, it's gonna take y'all at least 8 hours to get back home. Like, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Y'all not gonna get there in time. So Lucille holding Lamar hands and she praying for him and asking God for forgiveness for Meech and Terry and to touch Lamar's heart and all of this. And whatever she does, it works because he just yanks away and walks off. And she hurries up and closes the door. But did you notice she didn't lock it? She just standing in front of him. I was like, girl, he can still come back. Lock the door. And where is Charles? You done gave Charles the poo-nanny and he ain't there once again when you need him. That's what you get. Child, and that was the end of the episode. It was a better episode than last week, way more believable. Overall, I'm gonna give tonight's episode of BMF a C+, because Charles worked my nerves, child. I'd be glad when he get found out, and I hope the whole family jump him at once. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about tonight's episode down below in the comment section. What did you think about my sound effects? Is it something that you all like? Does it add some flair to the videos? Let me know down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell button. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.